So I'm here with the mic, and we're co-presenting the Outreach Committee meeting today. So first of all, welcome to the committee. And this meeting is recorded, and so thank you so much for joining the Computer Computing Consortium Outreach Committee meeting for October 1st. And we have most of focus here, and I think if we have a good number of folks, so let's go ahead and start it. As always, I want to remind everyone that this meeting is governed by the Linux Foundation antitrust policy. If you are unfamiliar with it, you can find more information at linuxfoundation.org/antitrust policy, or feel free to reach out to me or Rian or Renew for more details. This is a transparent, collaborative, and harassment-free space. Our goal is to support data protection and the adoption of computing technologies. Moving on to the next slide. And welcome new members. And do we have any new members joining us today? If so, and can you please introduce yourself?
Hello. This is my first time joining the Outreach Committee meeting. My name is Joyce. I'm from Furiosa AI. We're an AI hardware company based in Seoul, South Korea, and I lead the marketing efforts for the company.
Great, awesome. Thank you so much for joining, Joyce. I'm really, really excited to have you. Anyone else who's new today?
Joyce, are you in South Korea as we speak?
No, that's a great question. I'm based in Seattle.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking
it's
wow,
it's a bit lighter than I would have thought. I have to say, outside given I think the time of day in South Korea.
That's right. That's right.
Awesome. Welcome. And if no one else, then we can move on to next item. And so next item is the approval of previous minutes. And we currently, do we have a quorum today?
No, we don't.
Okay, we currently don't have a quorum. So if there are any corrections or objections, and please share them now. And if no objections, then we can go ahead and consider this minutes to be approved. So next slide. Just a couple of housekeeping items. And first of all, we have a CCC jobs board. So Joyce, and if since you're a new member to the outreach committee, and then we have this job posting site on the CCC website for your company to take advantage of. So if you have any openings in your companies, then feel free to post them. And then you can reach out to us at any time and to list those job opportunities. And so that's for the CCC jobs board. And the next is the CCC monthly newsletter. So we have this submission form for everyone to submit content. To please make sure that your content submission form is completed. So we don't really process anything that's incomplete. So make sure that you include abstract and title, anything that's necessary for us to process and to better streamline the newsletter publishing. And so just a reminder, the September newsletter is being published, and so feel free to check out our latest news. And thanks for everyone who contributing to this content. And the next thing is the CCC blog, and as usual, please submit your any blog ideas using the content form listed in here. And last thing is to make sure that I use the member badge and link to the CCC website. Any add-on for this page?
No, but I would just maybe call on Joyce as our newest member to consider whether or not we want to do something to introduce Furiosa AI via the newsletter or a blog. That might be a good way to introduce the company to the CCC readership.
Yeah, we are working on a blog together with Joyce and team, actually. We are currently in the process of planning it to get published this month.
All right. Thanks, Angela. Thanks, Joyce.
Yeah, that's awesome. Great. And then if nothing else, then we can move on to the agenda topic, budget. So Rian is going to give everyone an overview of the budget reporting as well as a detailed breakdown of the spending. And then I will walk through the proposal for next year.
Thank you, Rachel. Okay, let's quickly look at the budget. So this is the figures that we've been monitoring all year long, and we are getting into budget season, so it's getting important to discuss these numbers and to think about what we're going to do next year. So we planned basically two buckets of expenditure, or large buckets of expenditure. The one was for the research paper, which is very much on its way, and we've paid the deposit, and the rest is obviously payable as soon as the paper is done. So that is money that will be spent. So that's $100,000 there. We budgeted $400,000 on events. We have already spent 150, and we're due to pay another 141, which takes us about 291. Just keep in mind that even though there's a lot unspent, those invoices sometimes come in 2-3 months after the fact. So there's a lot of unpaid invoices that for events that already happened. If we go to the next slide, we can have a look at that. So basically everything that's marked in color is the invoice that's not paid, and everything that is marked is just white. Those invoices are already paid, and then you'll see the total there at the bottom, 291 with some change that we have spent, which gives us a good lead into the discussion for next year, where we need to reconsider our expenditure. I believe we would not be spending money on a research paper again, and then we need to rethink our strategy around outreach and events. Rachel, over to you.
So we spent, I mean, looks like we'll finish the year at a shade under 300,000, where we had started the year with a 400,000. Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, there's still going to be some minor expenses to be coming in for the next two events, if there's travel things that need to be added, or swag, stickers, banners, things like that. But it's definitely not going to push us far over 300.
Okay. Alrighty.
So I just something to add is that the GB is currently looking at options for spending generally across the CCC, and so we don't yet know what the TAC or the outreach or any other budgets will exactly look like, and that will depend on the priorities that GB wants to do. And so I'm working with Rian and other folks on what some of the proposals would be. So it would be really helpful if the TAC could come up with a couple of options. You know, one, we're going to have to cut somewhere. One would be, and probably more than one place to be clear. One would be, you know, looking at existing spend, keeping that around the same. And another would be reducing somewhat. I hope we can avoid a major cut, but who knows at this point. So that's what we're looking at.
Well, and I also think as strategy shifts in 2026, you know, it's not necessarily a cheaper strategy. You know, if we shift away from spending a lot of money on events, certainly we're going to spend less on market research and more on content marketing. You know, it may represent more just of a shift to different types of spending rather than
yeah. Well, I think the question is whether we'll have to do a reduction anyway.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? So having two options, one where we move it around, and the other where there's a reduction, I think is the safest way of looking at it.
So
Gotcha.
I have so I met with the Rihanna Renew, right? And then we had a proposal for the outreach committee on how this very high level on how we would like to propose a 2026 spend just for consideration. So I can walk through that plan. So if Rihanna, if you can move on to the next slide, that'd be great. Yeah. So for this year, our overall reach budget is $500,000, and for 2026, we're proposing a streamlined budget for $250,000 in total, a 50% reduction, while still targeting to achieve greater impact and reach. So the biggest changes come from reducing our event spending. As you saw from what Rianne demonstrated, the total event spending was $100,000 this year. And then in the past years, and events accounted for bulk of our outreach budget. And then we recommend narrowing our focus to events that truly drive the return on investment. So that's the first portion of the budget. And then the second portion of the budget is that we are proposing a new allocation of $100,000 for content marketing and digital marketing to support the strategy shift. So for the first portion, we're looking to really cut down some of the event spending in these particular events. The first event would be RSAC. And so the RSAC, we spend over $78,000 in total. And then we own the participation is limited to a booth and with few speaker opportunities. So that ROI and doesn't really justify the spend. And the second event is OSFF. So this event doesn't really have member commitment or staffing support. And it was also decided earlier this year not to commit to OSFF. Our participation in 2025 was due to the contractual obligation carryover from the prior year. So we're looking to cut the spending for 2026. And lastly, we're looking to reduce the spending on or remove the Conference Computing Happy Hour. So this is the CC Summit Happy Hour. And then it's a good networking concept, and however, it's very labor intensive and delivers a relatively limited exposure. And so with all three of those events being cut, and we still have many other events on our radar that will be going to 2026 based on the feedback we've received from members that are participating into those. And then at the same time, we're proposing a new allocation of $100,000 for content marketing and digital marketing. So this goal is to expand our digital footprint and build year-round visibility and really reach a wider audience beyond the in-person events. And the details of this budget will need to be more fleshed out. And so we're currently working together to really kind of flesh out what would be the components that go into the $100,000 proposal. And it may not even be the $100,000. So it's going to be like room for error a little bit around that number, but that's the high level number that we've proposed. So in summary, this proposal cuts the outreach spending by half, saving $250,000, while still shifting investment towards strategies that offer higher visibility and efficiency. So really believe this rebalanced approach will not only reduce costs, but also extend our reach and impact throughout 2026. So that's a proposal.
Can I ask a question, which is where this $500,000 number for 2025 comes from? Because the approved budget was 567, but that went up to 607 because of the research. Oh, no, sorry, I'm wrong. It's 567. I'm trying to work out what isn't included in that that comes under the marketing budget.
So for some of it, so this is looking at just the marketing. So we also have some outreach travel that we put in there. So there's a general travel bucket, and a part of that we allocate to outreach. And then we have web content and other miscellaneous
So
things around marketing.
I'm looking, Rian, at the budget planning sheet, which you sent me, and it says marketing subtitle 2025 approved budget 567, which is quite a bit different to 500. Sorry,
No,
I'm just
this
trying
is
to
estimation.
Yes.
So around 500, right? And then go ahead. Sorry, Rian has more details.
So the additional budget that you have in there, so that is for social media and content, which is where Dan and Angela comes in. We also have some budget for third-party consultants. We also have some budget in there for the web services that modify the website.
Okay, all right, that's helpful. Thank you.
Okay. So in the planning sheet, you'll see I highlighted them in color. Sorry, I can't share that with the meeting.
All the things that can be affected. We'll go through this tomorrow. Outreach. Okay, that's fine. Let's stick with this, and we can work from here. It's very helpful. Okay. So we're looking at reducing events by 150. increasing digital marketing by 100. So there should only be a 50,000 difference, as I understand it. So events
There's also
says,
research, right? There's also research, and also the actual spending of this year is 400,000.
yeah, but research isn't listed in here as well. So this is
No, this is only the changes. This is only the changes that we're proposing. So if you see that minus, right, and then the other events and that's being included.
Okay.
There.
So you have two minuses in the events column. Is one of them rolling up the others? So there's one says events minus 300 and one says other events minus 150. That suggests we're losing 450, but that's not right, is it?
No. So we are only proposing to remove RSAC, OSFF, and CC Happy Hour. So you see the notes.
Okay, yeah, I see that. So right, okay, so that's minus 150, right?
That's correct.
Okay, so where does above that, where does events minus 300 come from?
No, that's around $300,000. That's not
around.
much.
Sorry, it's really small. Yeah. It's really small. Couldn't see. Okay, all right. So we're losing 150 from there.
Yeah, so we're proposing to reduce the event spending by 150K, and then we're also allocating 100K for digital marketing. And we're also not looking to support research for next year because it's mostly one-time event.
Okay,
we're also
let's so we don't have all the numbers on here, and this is really, really confusing me. Okay, so 500 minus 150 is 350.
Could I make a suggestion? I would maybe suggest that the way that the slide is constructed is not serving the exact purpose, and so maybe we just need to, instead of line item critiquing the slide, maybe the feedback should be, let's reimagine our presentation of how the budget will change from 2025 to 2026 and try for a new presentation of the data. But
I think we're doing this right now. I think we need to understand right now what the numbers are.
Okay, so yeah, and I think what we want to do, I think, is just make a list of all the different marketing items, and what did we do? What were the categories that we spent in 2026 or 2025? What are the changes that we're proposing for 2026? And then what does the 2026 projection look like as a result? And I think, yeah, the net message of the slide will be what Rachel's already got here, which is the number will go down. And the mix of events versus other marketing expenses, events will go down, digital marketing will go up, research will go down.
Okay, so we've got, let's say 500K total, yeah? We're taking 150K off for events.
Well, can I help quickly go, if we go back 2 slides? Renew, if you can just back up the slides, I'll try and explain. Okay, so if we look at this slide, we've got a total budget of, ignoring the travel and third-party marketing, we've got a total budget of 500 for research and events. So research we take away, that's 100. So we're down to, out of the 500 down to 400. And if we go to the next slide, Renew. So we've spent this year 300,000. So we already have 100 that we did not spend. So if we half this expenditure by removing the 3 events that Rachel proposed, we're going to end up with a budget expense, if we do the same, of around 150. And then the proposal is, so out of the 500, we only retain $150,000 worth of events. And then on top of that, the proposal is add another 100 that we will then use in other ways in the different buckets that we could use.
So, all right, okay, that's helpful. All right, so what we're saying is that the event isn't actually minus 150, it's minus 150, and also minus 100 because it wasn't spent, right?
Exactly.
So we're not okay. So we're actually taking 250 of the events budget, not 150 out of the events budget.
Correct. 150 off the expenditure plus the saving that we had this year.
Yeah, well, no,
already.
I don't think we can carry over savings, but across like that.
No,
We can
you're
say
absolutely
we
right.
don't
Just the way
expect to spend. We don't expect to spend it because we didn't this year. Okay,
exactly.
that's okay. Okay, I think I'm now there. That's really helpful. I'm really sorry, guys, but I really need to understand this. So, okay, let's carry on. That's great. Thank you. So the request is for 250K for next year, basically.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
right.
So
We're asking for 250K budget for 2026. Last year, we asked for 500K, right, for 2025.
Yep.
That's 50% optimized.
Yep, no, got it. I'm now with you. With that explanation, I have caught up. Thank you.
All right. So quick report on, October 20th, we are on track to deliver our customer workshop in San Francisco at the Canopy by Hilton Hotel. We have, as a couple of days ago, we had about 20 registrants. It would be great to put in about 5 to 9 more, like customers. Again, we don't want to just pack the room full of people from the ecosystem who are already bought in. We want to bring in, more customers. So we could use about 5 to 9 more bodies coming in from, if you have customers in the Bay Area and they are looking to spend a day talking about confidential computing and learning from experts in the industry, we could use about 5 to 9 more. If you need the invitation text or information, get in touch with me. My email is down there at the bottom. Our physical logistics are looking on track. We're pretty much set on the room, the menu, the AV, and all that stuff. Speaker lineup, we got to put together the batting order in the rest of this week, but we've got our outside speaker from Brit Law, Steve Britt, coming in to talk about confidential computing and compliance and how it fits into regulatory regimen. And then we've got what we call the confidential computing in action segments, featuring a variety of speakers, both who are consumers and users of confidential computing, and a few of them that are confidential computing companies that are representing or presenting a case study of a customer that they are working with. Like Oblivious will be talking about the customer that they work with in the financial services segment, Duality talking about their healthcare customer, NVIDIA talking about how they're using confidential computing for their internal data protection, and then AI, confidential AI, Tinfoil will be presenting on their customer deployments on confidential AI. So if you need more information or you need to extend invitations to people in the Bay Area or wherever they might want to come in from, go ahead and shoot me a note. Guzo from TikTok and Laura from NVIDIA are also standing by to help us continue to pack the room.
Did you get the stuff that those two that slide deck?
I did. I haven't had a chance to crack it open yet, but I did see that you sent it. Thanks, Mike.
Let me know if you need something different. I'm happy to provide. No problem.
Sounds good. Thanks.
And just a quick shout out for the team that is pulling this together. We're really excited about this event. And if you're listening to this call right now, it would be very helpful to support our amazing comms team that has been producing posts on LinkedIn and newsletters. Just go there and, maybe give a share, give a comment, give a like. Just use the power that you have in your hands right now as the call progresses so that we can also drive that adoption forward. And feel free to reach out to any of us if you have any questions and want further support. Thank you so much, Mike and Mike.
All right.
Well, it's not me anymore. I'm not going to be there, so it's going to be the other Mike.
Yeah, no, I was just interrupting you, so I said thank you for the interruption.
Oh, fine. Okay.
All right, I think the next topic is also mine, the IDC research update. So IDC had presented us, they called it was an outline. It was a lot for an outline, but it wasn't quite a paper draft. So I call it the heavy outline. The heavy outline was sent to the governing board and the outreach mailing list for feedback. It was either last week or maybe even the tail end of the week before. All of the feedback that was gathered on the heavy outline, which was mostly me, was returned back to IDC yesterday. So the next step for them is to take our feedback and provide us back with a release candidate of the final white paper in about 2 weeks. We'll send that out to the resource or to the outreach and to the governing board for final feedback. That final feedback will be incorporated, and then we will be complete. And then we move on to the next phase of evaluating what are we going to do with it. So it's informative to us to see, but now I think we all need to, after we take a look at it and digest it, how does the CCC and how do the members want to be able to use this paper and the data it contains to promote confidential computing? So be thinking of that. And by the way, I think it was it the last meeting where one of their analysts came in and gave us, he attempted, and I'm going to say with extremely mixed success, to present the findings in a kind of a segmented analysis that was really kind of confusing, because some of the segment names were, they were, some of them were verticals, some of them were other descriptions, that it was just really confusing the way that they did it. And I provided them a lot of feedback on how they could improve that presentation, and they came back and said, we're not even going to try and do that. So for those of you who experienced that discussion there a couple weeks ago, it will not be attempted in the paper itself. All right, so be looking for the final paper here in about 3 weeks, 4 weeks after they have a chance to get, depending on the feedback cycle. All right, that's it.
So Rachel has left from the meeting as she had to attend another meeting. I suspect it's her topic to be covered up, or Mike, is it you going to look into?
Mike Purcell.
I think I said I'd do that if Rachel's gone. Yep, this Mike. Okay, so we are, as we discussed before, going to be doing stuff at the Open Source and Finance Forum. We are sponsoring it. We decided not to do a booth, but we have a 10-minute keynote, which I've called How to Trust a Banker. That's on the Wednesday morning. I thought that was it. Mateus Guzzo is smiling, so at least one person has felt that it was worth a go. I thought that was going to annoy enough people, or pique people's interest enough that it would.
It's risky. I mean,
I know.
It might work. It might not.
Well, that's fine. I'm gonna walk that line and see how it goes. We also have 6 different talks, I think, on the tracks, and that should be good. And we have 15 free registrations, which means that if you have a partner, a customer, a member of your ecosystem, or in fact, one of you who would like to come along to this, please let us know. It's in New York. That's the dates. But I'd like to use them. We've got them. We might as well use them. And this doesn't include the speakers. So, very, very happy to use some of those. So please get in touch with me or with Rachel. We've got the details of those registrations. And I'd love to see you there. But please don't heckle during my keynote.
So, Mike, if we have customers that may be wanting to attend, do we have just get the names to you, or?
Yeah, send them to me and Rachel, and we can make that happen. Absolutely.
Got it.
Literally, right, I believe we just got 15 of those codes discount codes that we can use, which I discount to 0, I believe.
All right. I am on it.
And it'd be a shame to miss them. Shame to not to use them, really. So that's about it.
All right. Looks like we've got an update on marketing metrics. Angela, are you leading this one?
Yeah, thanks. So since we didn't get to cover these metrics highlights in the last 2 calls, so I'll just quickly run through the August's website and social numbers, and then share what's coming up next. So in terms of websites performance, it was very strong compared to last year, August. We had around 12,000 total page views, up 63% year over year, and 4,800 visitors, which is a 110 increase compared to last August. And something that we noticed is that on August 20th, we saw a notable spike in page views. It's around 16,000 versus what's usually expected to be 391. And this was driven by the launch of one of the previous blogs, what is Remote Attestation Enhancing Data Governance with Confidential Computing blog, which alone added about 1,200 extra views. And that spike was most visible from Germany and from users on Firefox.
Note to members, technical blogs are loved.
Yes.
They love the technical blogs.
Yes. And our top content overall included the homepage at over 41,000 views, 4,100 views, and the remote attestation blog at 1,562, and the members page we have around 1,300, and the white paper reports at about 400, and traffic sources were led by direct at 2,190 and followed by referral at 2,094, organic search at 1,665, with a smaller contribution from social and email. And geographically, the top countries were the US, India, China, Germany, and the UK. And next slide, please.
What happened to Bulgaria? I'm disappointed.
So something that marketing team actually talked about was that ChatGPT does contribute a lot of the tracking too. So whenever there's people searching about CCC related topics or any mentions about CCC, those could come from, not 100%, but those could come from ChatGPT too. About socials, LinkedIn particularly, our audience grew modestly to 2,366 followers up until August, and it is a 1.1% month-over-month increase. We had fewer content considering August to be a quieter month, which generated just over 1,000 impressions, and the most engaged post was welcoming a new member. And looking ahead for content, we have a couple of member announcements in the pipeline that will be going live soon. And we'll also continue promoting the confidential computing workshop, especially since we're now at the second to last day for interest requests. And of course, we'll also be highlighting upcoming events. Make sure to spotlight any community talks and contributions that showcase our ecosystem. And back to you, Mike.
All right. All right. We got any other business on the docket? All right. If not, I think we can go ahead and call it for the week. Anything else? Going once? Going twice? All right.